Pro Group Racing presents Show Us Your Tips September 15 at preview midweek racing from Kenzo and Bendigo to look at. Beaver, how did the weekend treat you, mate?
Yes, as we're just saying, Daggy, it was a bit of a up and down weekend. Probably if you would have said at the start of the day that none of the three, Artorias, Ingratiating, or Ayrton wouldn't win, you probably would have got some good odds that neither of them winning, and all of them come up a little bit short.
Yeah, character building for some, but we suggested a couple to play around there in a couple of those races at odds, which I mentioned Harbour Views didn't necessarily give it a strongest push, but did they put it in the early quaddy? It was just the rest of the early quaddy that was the problem. But
Yes.
it was interesting. Dale, what do you make of Ayrton, actually?
Well, look, I think hard to work out because I kind of, when it came back from Queensland before its first up run, I wasn't overly keen. I wanted to see what it had. I didn't think it was overly impressive in Queensland. First run back here, I thought, oh geez, maybe I've got that one wrong, and yeah, it was a bit disappointing. It was a bit disappointing. I still didn't quite understand the ride.
Yeah.
I thought it was in the running line. It had cover, and then for some reason rode it like a good horse. And sometimes we can be critical of them not doing that, but didn't quite see the need this time to pull out and go so early, and just was left a sitting shot right at the end.
Yeah, yeah, and Harbour Views.
But still should have won the race if it was good enough.
The thing is, it bounced off. It had that flat run when it got beat second up in Queensland last time and bounced off it pretty impressively. So I suppose if that's perhaps a pattern and we stick solid, I think it's going to the Epsom or what's next? Epsom, Doncaster, Epsom.
Yeah.
We're in spring.
Look,
One of the Sydney races.
Maybe it's in and around that class, but if it's consistently better than that class, I'm not so sure.
And incentivise, I guess, is the other talking point.
Yeah, how good. Yeah, I wasn't convinced, and yeah, got a bit of egg on my face, I guess there. But geez, it was a good run. I thought at the 200 when
funny watching
Tafane
it
pulled up
live
outside
because I was on Moronga and I had something on Sir Dragon at the end, and watching it live, I'd stop watching it because I thought, oh, it's gone, and
Yes.
he was swooping, and then it wasn't until they hit the line I looked back and it was still there, bobbing away.
Well, I was the same. I tipped Tafane, as you know, and I thought at the sort of at that 250 mark, I think it was roughly, Tafane pulled up outside it, and I thought, well, Tafane's going past it. It's almost home, so I was sort of half getting in the queue there. But Tafane, I just don't think ran the mile.
No, and not at that class. I don't think it's spring class mile. I think it's a Queensland class mile. So
yeah, so
fresh
that
up 1400 for her. Back to mare's grade, I'd say.
Incentivise just yeah, it was impressive. It went to the lead, it took the race on, and when it was time to dig in, it dug in. So all credit.
And ultimately, it's right to look for swoopers in these races, but the toughest place to be first up's on pace. So got to give it the credit there as well. So
yeah, you've got to have it in the market. It's very impressive. Melbourne Cup weights came out. It seems okay weighted, about 55.
Yeah.
Very elegant, 57.
Yeah.
Which was interesting, given they gave Vow and Declare 54.5, which is an ex-Melbourne Cup winner. Not that Vow and Declare can win the Cup this year, I don't think, but interesting. It's won the Cup before, and horses like Incentivise and Very Elegant carrying more weight.
How are you? I haven't seen weights, I've got to be honest. Have you had a look at them at all? Do we know if anything international?
No, they were just a bit of my intel. Sent a couple of messages through and said, what do you think of this? So yeah, interesting.
I'll have a look. If there's no international, if no one's getting off the plane and Very Elegant's meeting Incentivise at those weights, who are you on?
Yeah, look, I think it's a
maybe track condition counts there too, because if
look, I probably want to see a couple more runs of each of them this preparation before I make my decision on that. As I said, Incentivise was very good, but it may have beat Tafane, who couldn't run the 1600, and what else finished on there? So Dragonate was good, but is is it at its best when horses like Zaki brained it, and what else ran the
Moanga.
Moanga, which is a
It was
genuine.
good, and it'll probably now come back to an Epsom and be hard to beat. And
so just want to see it go a bit further against some of that quality, and but yeah, I still liked what I saw, but it's hard to split them at the moment.
And nothing else from the weekend. Animo was good.
Oh, Animo was fantastic. Up you go, Animo was fantastic. So I really enjoyed that. I mean, I couldn't believe the price it got out to. I just didn't get that, and but happy that it did, and so all credit to it. It's a great win, and it's going to be the horse to beat from that age bracket this year for sure.
Fantastic, and great call from Darren Flindell. And for those might not be across the story, I said the great story was the Sydney-based web show Racing Rant tweeted and mentioned that it was a follower of theirs that passed away. Very sad, and very good of Darren to do that. And kudos to all involved there, and a fantastic call. So good to see, and definitely the horse to follow from the weekend for me. Should we get to tomorrow though and try and make some money?
Let's do it.
We get to the Randwick track where I believe it will be once we get to dead, and it'll be a dead range. So good track tomorrow. Rail in the true at Kenzo, so we know what we get on pace early. It's going to swing around late, and looking forward to betting there. Actually, it should be a good punting day. We kick off with the 14-year-old maiden for the 3-year-olds. How are you going to start the day, Beaver?
Yeah, look, tricky affair. Lightly raced and unraced lot here. I thought the trial of Antonio Giovanni was quite good. It's the only unraced one here. And McDonald aboard, the Waller trained. Look, I think it's probably done enough in the trials to suggest it can win this race.
Was there another horse, the same name, a couple of years ago in the same colours? Was there another Giovanni or something?
I think, there was, but not Antonio.
Not Antonio, okay. Cool. I was going to stick with the race brigade here. I thought McCall been good both starts this prep here, and Nash going, and I think gets close to control of this race. And I thought was the one to beat. And with the Waller one you found there was the other chance, and obviously J-Mac going on. But I was going with the race here, and was happy to move on. I thought it was one of the better bets today, actually, the more I look through this race. And I think Profundo's a decent horse, so he's enough to find there for me. The second on the card is the 1100 meter maiden, where this is a bit trickier. A few first up here, and left me sort of with more questions than answers by the time I finished the Thorn. I thought the poacher's been ridden out, but responded pretty well in both trials, and I think will run well here around the $6 mark. And I thought, is it Grassy Stiller, if I pronounce that correctly, the other Waller horse with Bowman on, came back this prep in his trial, just had the one trial, but looked pretty good, I thought, finishing off in that trial, and that's $12, but not a race I'm going to plough into. Were you any clearer?
No, it's the same as you. I like that trial as well, with the Waller train. Gracilia Stiller, or however you want to say it. Interesting name. I thought the trial was quite good. Thought you could have a play around that, and I also thought Lady Fräulein as a first starter could run well. So I was sort of looking for a bit of value here, but open affair, not a lot of confidence.
Race 3 is the 1800 meter benchmark 72, maybe another tricky race, another of the trickier races on the card. I was sticking with, I didn't like anyone here, but I ended up coming back to Shibley on top. I thought it chased pretty well last time, gets a week back up here from the Gosford meeting where it chased Solar Apex, who I think's going to a bit higher grade than this. And from the gate by this time, hopefully we can run on, and it'll be right in the finish here. I think the $5 is a pretty good bet, actually, because I don't really like anything else in this race. Am I on the right path?
Yeah, I think you are on the right path. I kind of come up with the same thing for the same reasons. I thought its run behind chasing Solar Apex was good. I think it's off to better things, but it certainly had the right run, Solar Apex, and Shibley didn't shirk the task in chasing. Third up here, the week back up. look, I think it can get a nice run here and be hardest to beat. Thought the interesting runner was probably Dream Runner, coming back from sort of weekend class, but those sort of midweek highways and coming back a bit in distance. But yeah, Shipley for me as well.
Yeah, you've mentioned it a couple of times now, but I just don't think it hasn't done it out of the highway, and it's not done a lot since. So I was happy to take it on, but I've
Yeah,
been wrong
same.
before, and not necessarily the strongest race though. We keep staying in our benchmark 72 land for race number 4, 1550 meters here. Where again, I sort of defaulted to, like, all this stuff is sort of provincial class. So I defaulted to the two, well, Mighty Bill's been scratched actually. First time I've had a look at it tonight. So the other Waller runner here, Head of State, coming back from the group race behind Coastwatch. So was looking that way. I just think Jojo hasn't come up this prep, and the rest of it's all pretty much provincial form. Wyong, Bathurst, and further. The one I didn't quite know where fit and might knock me out would be Crazy Train. That was the one I'm sort of scared of. I think there's a bit of ability there, but I was looking to Head and State, and I would have backed Mighty Beale had it been here as well. What are you thinking here?
Yeah, I went for Ida here.
Okay.
Just thought the 3 runs in this preparation, while it's been provincial, have been pretty impressive, and once with some authority. Bjorn Baker's brought it to town now, so that's a good pointer for me. Collett goes aboard, drawn gate 3. I think it looks to get the right run in the race. Crazy Train could have a little bit of ability. Jojo still haven't put a pen through it. I think this is probably a little bit weaker than the first 2 starts, so it's spurred up as well. So no, I went for Ida with Jojo, the knockout chance.
Okay, cool. Race 5, again, the 72 over the 1,300 meters. And how have you lined these up?
Yeah, I've gone for promise of success here. Really like this. Think it's a nice bet. Only just missed last start, but really hit the line hard at the Kenzo track here. I think it'll be further improved by that. And prior to that, had some reasonably good form in decent races. So I think looks a very nice bet, and I'm happy with the $2.50 at this time.
Yeah, I defaulted the same way. I think this is a little bit weaker than what it's been up against. And the only other danger I sort of even had a look at was 8 diamonds, but I've decided it's now first up only 8 diamonds, and it was pretty ordinary. I know it's coming back from Saturday grade, but I thought it was a bit ordinary there. I think did pull up with an issue, but I think if promised success, if we're able to run them by this stage, I think it's a good bet here. And I like Bowman going on as well. So all ticks from me. Race number 6 is the 1,150 meter. This is a good race, actually. 72. A couple of decent resumers here, including Overman and a couple others coming back from Queensland. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it is a tricky affair, and it's an interesting race. I've gone down a little bit in the market, and I've come up with the Waller trained, Collet ridden Colino.
Yeah, excellent.
First up. So I'm keen to have a look at this. Its last start only finished a length behind Overman, who's in this race. So it's a bit of for a length different. I think there's a bit of a gap in the market between the two of them. But it's trialled very well at Warwick Farm. Won its trial comfortably, wasn't extended, but also had some form if you go back prior to that. Back in April, ran against Paulie, and was a fair bit off it, but still ran in that quality of race. I'm hoping it's improved a bit and can run well fresh. Overman, a definite chance, and I wouldn't rule out Oh Please Diana. I thought it was honest last start, and went across the line with all of them finishing third. So it'll be further improved. So Colino, Oh Please Diana, for me.
Very good. I like it because I'm thinking the same way. I've got Overman on top. I think the trial was great coming back. It does have the Saturday win and the started favourite over Colino, but I really like what Colino did afterwards. I like the the spell in Queensland. I like the trial since. I know it was on the synthetic, but it was a very impressive trial. And we've just seen Waller keep rolling out all these horses the last 3 months, and they come off the same setup and they run really well. So it was $12 last night, I believe, but happy to take that.
Still is.
Happy to back. It is too. There we go. Happy to back both of them at the price, to be honest. And I'm keen. I don't think there's a lot else in this race. So I respect what you said about Diana, and Nash goes on there as well. But I like the two 3-year-olds. And we wrap up the day with the 1400 meters again over the 72. Well, I don't know. I end up having
awful day to finish the race.
I defaulted to promotions on top Saturday back to midweek, dropping grade.
That's what I did.
And I think Mountain Legend and Triple Ace would both be very hard to beat in this race, so I drew the simple line there. And I am hoping I'm in front by this stage. And sounds like you don't have much to add.
No, that was exactly what I did. I sort of defaulted back to the class drop, showing a little bit of ability. I wanted to do here last chance for promotions to win a race. It's got gate 4, reasonably weighted. If it can't win this, good night, Irene.
We'll sum up your thoughts there for progroupracing.com.au. Sum up your thoughts from Kenzo.
Yeah, so my best bet of the day comes up in race 5, number 6, Promise of Success. I think that'll be super hard to beat. And my value bet of the day comes up in race 6, number 12, Colino.
Excellent. My best of the day is in the first, Malcula. I think will run well in the 3-year-old race there. And you've stolen my thunder a bit, but I think those Waller ones at a price will run well. So Colino and Head of State will both, I think, run pretty well back to midweek grade here. And the promotions, I think $6-7 is for a last chance big drop in grade is a reasonable value as well.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah,
we'll get through all that and see how it all pans out. But let's head down south to Bendigo, where the rail is true. It'll be dead. So Bendigo tends to play pretty well. You're able to make ground most of the time. It's we'll treat it as fair for all the purposes of tomorrow. We kick off with the 1100 meter maiden at race number 1, a short price favourite off an impressive trial. I'll lead us away down here. I think it's the horse to beat. I think it's too short, but I think it is the horse to beat. Very impressive trial. This is Mornington Glory I'm talking about in race 1. I'd want better than Black Figures, but I think it's going to be hard to beat, and the market's right for Cheery will roll along in pace, and if it can't run it down, to be the horse that'll win. You made it all this.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Mornington Glory looks hardest to beat here. Nice trial. Obviously, the money's come for it. It's been backing from $2 to $1.85 already. Certainly hard to beat, and this doesn't look an overly difficult affair, and that's probably why it's shorter. Because there's a few here that are 250 to 1 and 70 to 1 and the likes. I find that hard. They'd be hard to back. So Mornington Glory for me.
Speaking of hard to back, race number 2 is a 2400 meter maiden. Look, do we need to talk about this? I just, after spending 5 minutes on this race, I just decided once you get these 2400 meter maidens, if you're backing horses that can't win before they get out to this sort of race, don't bother. Let's just move on.
Yep.
Keep your money, everybody.
Yep, I'm agreed.
There are better races to be had this week. Let's get to race 3. 1400 meter maiden, no, where we've got another shorty in the Boston Young trained River Plate. Are you going to stick with that?
Yeah, I am. I think it looks hard to beat. New Zealander coming over for Australian debut. Oh no, it's had its one start here. Sorry, where it ran really well. But look, I've quite liked the look of the New Zealand form coming to Australia. We've seen Elephant, Rhinoceros we got last week. It's all stacking up quite nicely. A Tissue, Entrevier, which was great again on the weekend.
Follow her as well. We didn't mention her.
And so, look, I'm willing to bet that River Plate will run well as well, but not nice odds. But I think if you get the first one and this one, you can let it ride.
Yeah, couldn't possibly take $1.50 as is. I think it probably wins as a nice Australian debut. I think they've got an opinion of the winner of that draft day as well. We'll see what the price gets to tomorrow and how I'm feeling at the time. But at this stage, I'm not taking $1.50. But then I look through the rest, and once you start sort of trying to get any clues on the 100-to-1 things, whether they might be having an ability, I just decided to we'll wait and see on the price of the favourite and just put it on top for now. The benchmark 64 race number 4 over the mile, where I was a bit keener on a favourite. I think Rapid Achieve has got a bit of ability. I think this is a weaker race than it ran in last time. It was pretty impressive. Winning at Sandown, coming here, draws a gate to be leaders back, and I think we'll win this. About $2.50. I think is fair enough. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think exactly the same as you. I think it's got a little bit of money's already come for it. Come in about 10 cents already. 2 wins out of its 2 starts. Mar Eustace flying, looks hardest to beat. Some of the other horses here, other than Holster, who won well last start, haven't won for a while. So winning form's good form, and I'll be backing Rapid Achiever.
Great. The quaddy kicks off with a 1,300-metre benchmark 70. We see a few coming back from some decent stuff in Adelaide. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I've gone for Agreeable, resuming. I think it's, not a bad horse. And again, it's last preparation, was racing in much better company than this at Morphettville and performing well. Finished 4 lengths behind Cherry Tortini, who came out and ran very well on the weekend.
Yep.
Couple of lengths off Incredulous Dream in a quality race at Morphettville, and then prior to that in Melbourne, won at Caulfield when it had been well found in the market. So, look, I think it's definitely the horse to beat. Surprised it's not a little bit tighter in the market, to be honest. Happy to back Agreeable at $5.50.
Cool. And yeah, we've got the other one there coming out of Flying Mascot, coming out of the was it the Oaks? The lead up to the Oaks, one of them there, 2,000-metre race, yeah.
Yep.
You mentioned Agreeable. The other one who I was keen to see and see how the track's playing if we are running on, Redeal's a talented horse, I think. Had a couple of nice wins and ran well both in town and had a nice win before going to the Bendigo Guineas, where I think it was just over the top. Started in the market there as well. And the trial was nice coming back here. So I was giving that a chance as well. It's around $5. I had Redeal on top from Agreeable for all the reasons you mentioned there. But I think this is a good race. I think there'll be horses to follow right through this race. I'm looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, I agree. And you got the Toys on Fire that won nicely first up from the McAvoy stable. So yeah, open race here. Any of the sort of top 5 or 6 can probably run well and win this race.
1,300-metre benchmark 64 is race 6. What are you doing here, Beaver?
Yeah, another tricky little affair. I've gone for Stelvio from the Cummings stable. Been ultra consistent this preparation after a nice win first up. Ran well at the Lakeside last start. Finished off really nicely, assuming that they can finish off here. Wasn't far off the winners. And 2/3 last 2 starts here against the one before that was against Kabira and Veranoska, who then came out and franked that form. So pretty good form. Can run well. These are the type of races that Cummings produces a horse and wins. Hardest to beat the favourite Renova, who was good last start.
Yeah, I just went the other way. I had Renova on top from Stelvio. Again, gets leaders back here. Was pretty brave on pace, or just punching through behind or underneath them, I should say. Last start before that was a nice enough win. And you've covered Stelvio. I think they're the main chances. I don't really have a lot more to add to the race. It's one of those days at Bendigo where generally you can get through the card and I can find a couple outside the market, but I haven't found any tomorrow, I'll be honest. So we're at the pointy end of the market, so we'll see how this all pans out. Where again we are $1.50 favourite Maramenko race number 7, which is a class 1 over the 1400 metres. Yeah, have you got it on top?
Yeah, clear standout here. Certainly the toughest to beat. Yeah, might have a bit of ability, this one.
Yeah, set outside lead to the Garden, who had all favours that day at Sandown, had the rail in its favour and was impressive, but it chased on quite well. It was the obvious run there. I don't think there's a lot else in this race. I think the price is a bit ridiculous, but we'll see how that all pans out come jump time as well. And we wrap up the day of benchmark 70 over the 1100 metres. What are you doing here?
Yeah, look, I'm going to stick with the favourite as well here. I think it's
a lot of faith in the Hawks team tomorrow.
Yeah, a lot of faith in the Hawks team tomorrow, but seems to be a bit of a target. This horse's both wins have been very good, very impressive. I think, again, they're putting it in here, try and get a race, an easy win, and I think you'll find this is going to Saturday Company very shortly.
Yeah, not much. It's done everything it's had to. Times haven't been blow away, but this isn't a blow away race. It's done what it's had to do. It's going to be leaders back again. Not a lot of pace. It's going to have most favours, and I think it'll head towards probably some lower level black type stuff after this. If it's got the opinion they think they do. So yeah, again, favourite on top. More secrets for progretracing.com.au. Your best and value.
Yeah, look, pretty tricky to find some value there tomorrow. I think probably my best value bet is in race 6 around the $5 mark is Stelvio. But I think when you come for your best bet, I think you'd almost roll the dice and sort of go for the 5 favourites that we picked out. I think you could go Mornington Glory, River Plate, Rapid Achiever, Maramenko, and then more secrets in the last. I think you could almost go those 5 and might get yourself a sight.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Very brave there, Beaver. For the sake of it, I'll put Rapid Achiever as my best, but I think you can, depending how brave you are. I'm not a big advocate for looping too many together, but pick out a couple and tie them up and see how you go. I'll make my value redeal in that tough race just because I couldn't find a lot else outside the market. But an interesting day's racing. We'll obviously be a bit smarter afterwards, a bit wiser to it all afterwards, but some good horses resuming. What about up north? Have you had a look up there?
Yeah, I have had a look up north. I only got 3 up there. I think tomorrow I had race 1, number 4, Sea Ripple. I think it looks probably one of the better bets on the day. I came up with race, just check, race 5, number 1, Xanthias. Looks to be hardest to beat. And then I also had in race 7, number 3, Genuine Owl.
Very good. Flying up there as usual, Beaver. So
I think they're tricky races there. There's a few. I think those 3 look hard to beat, and then in the other races, they're very open races. So found it hard to find something of
Uppity.
I could bet with any confidence there.
No, that's cool. We'll be back Thursday night to have a look towards George Main Stakes Day at Randwick, as well as the shorts, where I believe we're going to see 4 or 5 of the Everest hopefuls take on each other. So that should be a cracker. We'll have a deeper dive than we do tonight. Then, as well as the Guineas preludes are both at Caulfield. So another ripper day of spring racing. And as usual, there's not much else to do. So we'll find some winners for Saturday and hopefully get us all a bit of a bank as we hopefully push towards lockdown. Stay safe, everyone. For progretracing.com.au, check them out for their free tips and extensive guides. And Beaver, I will talk to you shortly, buddy. Good luck tomorrow.
Ciao for now.